You are very welcome back to Sunday AM. Now, it is the first weekend of February, so we've all received our first pay packet of 2017, thank goodness. So what's next? Oh, maybe a holiday?
Yes, indeed. It's booking season, and with a summer getaway on our minds, travel expert Sarah Slattery has joined us some top tips on how to get value for money. Sarah, very welcome back to the programme.
Very welcome.
Always good to see you, because we know we're talking about fun times ahead.
Yay.
Speaking of booking holidays, would you recommend booking online or going to a travel agent?
Well, I was a travel agent for over 20 years, so I suppose I'm always a little bit biased when it comes to that, and I'll always probably say go to a travel agent. But, I mean, I would definitely say use the internet, use the tools that are there, do your research online. In some cases, if it's a flight to London or something like that, yeah, of course, it's going to be better to book online. But if it's a package holiday or it's something, more detailed, I would always say go to a travel agent. And there's no harm to check both. As I said, a lot of people do your research online first, but, always call a travel agent, check with them, because prices are quite often the same.
That's it, Sarah, because I mean, essentially I always book my flights myself.
Yeah.
So how do I go through an agency? Say, for example, I wanted to go on a holiday in April or May. What do I do? Do I just pick up the phone to certain retailers and away I go?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people actually use travel agency websites without even kind of knowing they're still travel agents.
So you can do it in that sense.
So
too.
you can do it that way if you want to. I mean, there are some very good websites out there with really good searches. Click and Go have a deal finder on their site where you can search within 7 days, within 14. You can put in any city break in July, any sun holiday in July, things like that. There's a newcomer, loveholidays.ie. They're only fairly new in Ireland. You can search by disabled facilities. You can search by if you want an apartment with slides in the pool for kids. So they are websites, but they're still online travel agencies as well, you know. So a lot of people will use things like that. But I always say as well, just compare like with like, because it's very important. If you look at the likes of Sunway or Falcon Holidays, a package holiday, your old-fashioned traditional package holiday, where you'll have your transfers included, your bags included in the price.
So it's better, really,
I'd say compare as well, because like a bag with Aer Lingus, if you're flying to Lanzarote in July, it's €100 for a 20-kilo bag.
There you go.
Is it really?
So, yeah, that's much there now.
We booked a holiday last year, and of course I booked it all online myself, and didn't factor in the transfers. €200 each way in a taxi.
The transfers is a huge factor. Bags and transfers are really, especially with a family, it can really add up. So that's why I think comparing like with like is the most important
thing.
That's
good advice.
One of the things we often do is just go to your Irish carriers, Ryanair, Aer Lingus, if we're looking to go somewhere. And we don't tend to kind of spread our search out further than that. But there are other kind of aggregator websites that can help you with that sort of thing, aren't there?
Really, that's a great point. Skyscanner I find very helpful.
That's the one I use.
But there's a lot of similar sites, but I find that them
great. What other
as
ones
well.
are there other than Skyscanner?
Well, Kayak are fairly new. They're fairly new. Well, they're huge around the world, but in Ireland, and they apparently send you beeps to tell you when the flights are being reduced and things like that, and alarm bells ring on your phone and things.
Useful.
But I like Skyscanner. I suppose it's just the one I'm used to. So I find like places like Barcelona, Vueling flight to Barcelona, Iberia Express flight to Madrid, Norwegian flight to, Copenhagen. So you wouldn't, whereas you just can't, it's particularly with Europe, you think Aer Lingus and Ryanair, but there's so many others that might be cheaper or flying the days you want to fly.
What about, Sarah, travel insurance tips? I might be bold and say that sometimes I don't take it.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Well, shorter trips to London, I wouldn't bother.
So many people don't, and I personally say like everybody should have it. Like multitrip.com, it's $15.95 for a year. A starting price is for a yearly policy. So there's really no excuse for someone not to have it. Just get it for the year and you're done. A friend of mine, and this is genuinely one of my closest friends, is in the Caribbean there 2 weeks ago, and she broke her leg in 2 places. So it's quite personal for me at the moment, but she had to get an air ambulance home, which now I don't know the cost exactly, but you're probably looking about 100 grand.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to the States, the medical bills are astronomical. So for anyone who doesn't have you just have to have it. It's just one of those things you just have to get.
If you have private health insurance, I know that the health insurance companies offer it as kind of an add-on to your package for very little money.
Well, I know when we went skiing with the show there in Austria to buy, just for being over there, I think it was like 20 quid. So if I broke my leg or if I fell down the ski slope and off into the veranda somewhere, then at least least, you know, I was covered. So you have to have stuff for like
it's
that.
so
Yeah, of
reasonably
course.
priced now. There's really,
20
you
quid.
should just get it
Oh,
for the
God,
year
yeah.
and that's it. You know?
I know it's probably an obvious one, but the number of times that I've been nearly caught by one of our 5 passports being nearly up or just out of date or whatever, and going on holidays. It sounds like a simple one, but we just need to be a bit more aware of that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm like that every time I go away. Even though I know it's 2019, I still look, you know.
Yeah.
And even though you know it's not out of date, but there's a really handy thing on the passport website. So you say your passport isn't due till 2025 or whatever, and you want to forget about it. You can put in your passport details online, and it will send you an email 6 months before to say your passport's due to
Because
expire.
there's a cut-off point, isn't it? 6 months you can't fly
Well,
before.
some
are
countries
quite-
you have to have your passport renewed.
happened with
And
return.
that's-
you have to have your passport valid for 6 months after
you
your return.
So that's on the passport.ie's website, is
Yeah,
it?
Now, let's talk holidays. This is the bit we've been dying to talk about. You've got some great deals for us, so tell us more.
Well, cruising is very good. I know I've probably always gone on about cruising, but the prices are so good this year and everybody seems to be want to cruise. So the Caribbean cruises are particularly good value for a lot of people who've already done the Med.
I've never done a cruise, actually.
Yeah, well, a lot of people, I suppose, there's this 3 or 4 Med cruise itineraries that people are doing, so now they're looking to places further afield.
This price point at 1,000, just under 1,200. Of course, where do you go now with this?
Well, you
one?
fly from Dublin that includes your flights into Orlando, and the cruise goes you get a hotel overnight the night before, and then you have a 7-day Caribbean cruise. And the flight's back for $11.99, and it's on Oasis of the Seas. It's a fabulous big Royal Caribbean ship with all neighbourhoods, and you know
Neighbourhoods.
Well, there's
Lovely.
7 different neighbourhoods.
You've another
on board.
one for us as well, don't you?
Yeah, just if you want something closer to home, the Algarve. There's you can get to the Algarve for like €199 a May. It's so cheap. But I just picked this because it's good value. It's a 5-star hotel right on the beach near Albufeira. The Grand Hotel Santa Eulalia, really popular. It's $529 for flights and accommodation for a week in June.
That's amazing.
That's great.
And it's a beautiful hotel. And it's one of those hotels it's unusual. It's good for families or couples because on site they've got an apartments. So families can go to the apartments as well. And there's kids clubs and things for the kids, and there's a spa for adults. So for the family price is $14.99 for a week in June for 2 adults, 2 kids.
So everybody, even the floor manager, was like, "Wow, that's really good."
There'll be a rush in those now by the time we get off air to book them below.
Exactly.
Well, all the details are on my website anyway in the post. So.
Okay, the travelexpert.ie.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
very much, Sarah. Brilliant to have you on the
Thanks,
show.
Sarah. See you soon.
Oh, you've me really roiling to go on a holiday now. Yeah.
Anyway, still to come, we'll be checking on our American-style nachos in time for the Super Bowl.
And they are delicious. And of course, Rosie makes a return to curry. So we'll have all the top telly highlights for the week ahead. Stay tuned.